Okay, here's our spinning coin with words thing. As you can see, the words are being randomly generated. They just happen to say subscribe. Hint, hint. So in order to do this, the first thing I did is I just grabbed a coin. And there it is. Pretty simplistic looking. The camera really doesn't matter where it is, and because logic-wise, well, you'll see. We'll align it with view. That was a horrible alignment. I don't know, a doctor or something. Lawsuits against me. Anyways, I'm going to go create object, and I'm going to create a 3D object, Text Mesh Pro. You can do this with a WorldSpace canvas as well, but this is just flat out easier and better. So this Text Mesh Pro, I'm going to child it to the coin, give it a width of 5. I'm going to scale it right down, and let's take a little closer look at this. So the coin's forward is the blue, and that's what I'm going to run this off of. I'm going to push this out just enough that we can see it. Like that. I'm going to auto size it, and I am going to rotate it 180, and my min size will say 10, max size, I don't know, say 16, and I'm going to put it in the middle. It's still a little big, so let's take this to 4 and 4. There we go. So now we have a word. So now if I add a FSM, very simple one for rotating, simple action, just a rotate. Then we're just going to rotate on the Y. I'll go fast so you can see. So you can see it a little quicker, I guess. Right? Obviously, it doesn't need to be that fast. Actually, speed-wise, nothing actually matters. So this is going to be our change word logic. And we need really just one thing. We need an array. This can be our words. And it's going to be a string array. I'll give it, say, 5 words. There, just completely random words. It just happens to say Broken did this tutorial and it was cool. But randomized. I swear to God. So, in order to make this thing work, we need 2 things. We need 2 references. The camera, and for anyone who doesn't know, the main camera, you'll notice anytime you start a scene, it has the tag main camera. By some magical frickin' reason, out of any scene in Unity somewhere, it's the only thing with a tag. That's because this is actually a very specialty Unity tag. There's only ever one camera with that tag. If you put that tag on multiple cameras, it will screw shit up. But that allows Unity and Playmaker to use actions like get main camera. There we go. Now we have that main camera. You don't have to do this anyways. If you wanted to have it based on different cameras, you could find different cameras. You use different ways of getting the references. I'm just doing this because it's nice and easy. So anyways, how do we do it? We want to get forward direction. We need 2 of those, not 3. I'm too click happy. If you don't have get forward direction, and this one's on ecosystem, you can alternatively, and maybe I'll use the alternative way, is to transform direction. So if I transform my that, I get my forward direction. So I want this every frame. This is the same thing as get forward. Same thing. So we need that, and we also need of the camera. And I still want that. I want the camera's Z. And now that we have that, we can do a vector3 operator. Boom. And we take them both. Order of this won't really matter. We do a thing called a dot product. And that comes out with a float called, well, we're calling it dot float compare. So now we take this, move it down. If dot is greater than 0.1, I don't know what the hell to call that event, but whatever. I'm going to duplicate this whole thing. Only here now we don't want on the, we want the less. So it's just a duplicated state, and this one's if we're greater than the 0.1, and this one's if we're less than 0.1. And I'm just using 0.1 because it seems to work pretty good. And if you look at this logic now, you'll see as this coin flips, every time we are in facing, we're here, right? So what does that tell you? That simply tells you we can now have a variable for our text mesh pro to random, array get random. You don't have to use random. You can put this in sync or whatever. We need a new variable to store this in. So we're going to choose a random word, put it into this text set text. Only we want this one, the basic one, of our text mesh pro. So I'll put that underneath. Scroll down, hit play. And now we should have a nice cool little word randomly generating on a coin every time it flips around. And just to prove to you that the camera angle doesn't matter, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create an empty on the camera. You don't have to do this. This is just for demonstration purposes. Is my camera's here facing the coin. I'm going to move this empty over to the coin, unparent it, parent the camera to the empty. Now I can take this guy, rotate him, and the camera is going to move around. And as you see, it doesn't matter how fast we spin it or which way we even spin it. Every time that thing looks away, it changes words. When it shows us, it's just, well, it's showing us. There you go.